Welcome to Sharlin Learning, a less than 5-minute presentation of information you can immediately use. My name is Joshua Sharlin, President of Sharlin Consulting, and I specialize in applying an FDA reviewer's perspective to my support of companies in all aspects of their work with FDA. This lesson explains why the Code of Federal Regulations is important and how to learn more about it. I believe a key part of the strategy for being effective with FDA is to think like reviewers think and read what reviewers read. Without a doubt, the most important information read by reviewers is the Code of Federal Regulations. It explains how FDA will interpret the food and drug laws enacted by Congress. FDA reviewers read the CFR every day. Why is that? It's because FDA reviewers must follow the set of rules and requirements described in the CFR. Among other things, the CFR describes various reporting requirements and the content of different types of submissions. You should also be aware that FDA has a large number of guidance documents. The big difference between the two is that guidance documents contain recommendations while the CFR contains requirements. It's vital to have a realistic set of expectations regarding CFR content, which can be general and rather vague. There are several good reasons for this. First, FDA regulates a huge variety of companies, including drugs, medical devices, and food manufacturers. With a huge and diverse audience, having detailed CFR content is often not practical. Second, compliance with many regulations is affected by science and technology, which is rapidly changing. If the CFR was specific, it could quickly change and become obsolete. For these reasons, and because it's difficult for a reviewer to get complete information about a problem, don't expect a set of directions from the agency about how to get a product approved. I often hear companies say, if FDA would just tell me exactly what to do, then I would do it. In many situations, that's an unrealistic expectation. So how can you use the general principles I just described? First, read and reread the CFR. It can be difficult to understand at first, but practice helps. How do you know which CFR citations apply to your activities? One way is to read applicable guidance document and relevant content on fda.gov. There are 3 CFR formats and all 3 are useful. There's the online version, which is always up to date. There is a link to it on the home page of fda.gov. Second, there's the searchable Acrobat PDF version that can be purchased from websites like TechStreet. The hard copy version can be bought from the U.S. Government Printing Office. This is useful for writing notes in the margin. For key CFR citations relevant to your activities, you should write an interpretation that explains your compliance with the regulation in the context of your company's specific environment. For example, data management compliance will vary depending on your computer configuration. Your interpretation document could be placed in a standard operating procedure or in a company policy statement. Writing your interpretation of the regulations in the CFR can be vital to passing an audit. Your CFR interpretation document explains to an FDA auditor the reasoning and the logic behind your compliance processes. Having an auditor understand the background to your work is the best way of ensuring they'll agree with your process actions, decisions, and results. This is Joshua Sharlin. Thanks for participating in Sharlin Learning. In addition to consulting, every month I teach 3 60-minute audio conferences on FDA-related topics.